I cheated on my husband. Now I want him back. I've been together with my husband for over 6 years. We've been married for 4 years and have a 20-month-old son together. We met through a friend's home party and connected almost immediately. After 2 years, we ended up getting married. We tried having a child and got a beautiful son. He always wished to have a son and a daughter, and we were planning on having another child. As time moved on and the baby was taking more of our time, our spicy sleep life got less and less active, but he always assured me that he was still attracted to me. Most of the time, he would try to initiate spicy sleep, but I would turn it down, mostly because of myself and because I was insecure about my body and myself around him. When we would go out somewhere, I could see other women looking at him, trying to make eye contact with him, and it would bother me, and I would tell him about it, and he would assure me that he only loved me. One day, as he came home from work, long work hours at the hospital, straight to bed telling me he is exhausted, I started looking into his phone and looking in his Instagram and Messenger messages, and I could see several chats with several different women, some of whom are his ex-girlfriends. He had been asked to go meet up for a coffee or if they would want to meet up somewhere just as friends, but he always turned them down. I even saw archived messages of an ex who had messaged him out of the blue and asked if he wanted to meet up for some good times, which is referring to spicy sleep. He had responded with, "I have a wife," and blocked her. Damn, man, is loyal as frick. I really don't know why, but in my head, I started making up that he must have been cheating on me with at least one of these girls. I ended up contacting an ex-boyfriend who I hadn't talked to for years. One thing led to another, and we met up at a hotel close by. At first, I just wanted to have some sort of payback, but as we ended up having spicy sleep, I was filled with incredible regret.
So she decided to revenge on something she didn't have any proof of. In my opinion, she wanted to meet her ex, and that's why she was looking for evidence that her husband was cheating. That would have given her a perfect excuse to justify her action, but interestingly, she met him anyway, even though she didn't find anything.
This all happened during the day, and my husband was at work, and he had no idea and never had a suspicion. It took me 3 days, and as he came home one day, we were in front of the television. I started crying, told him everything. He just kept looking at me but didn't say a word. Went upstairs and locked the door to our bedroom. I followed him and was crying at the door, but he didn't say a single word to me. Took him a long time, but he finally came out, but immediately left the house, and I haven't heard a single word from him.
His silence speaks volumes. His reaction is an indication that he is fully done. At this point, she should have known that he is no longer her husband.
My life is completely ruined. I hate myself more than everything and just wish I can get my husband back. I really don't know how to move on from here. He came home for a few hours yesterday before packing up and leaving again. When he finally came home, he didn't say anything. Went straight to our son, refused to say a word to me even though I kept crying. He told me he wanted some alone time with our son. At first, I thought he came back to see our son and later wanted to discuss, but after some time, he started packing a bag and I panicked. I started crying and begging him to stay to talk about it. I took the advice of being completely transparent and told him I would tell him everything and asked, but he just stood up, looked at me disgusted and cold and told me, "I don't want to know anything. I know all that I need to know." Then he just went over and took some more things to put in a bag. I completely panicked and started saying I love him and will do anything to get him back, that I stopped the spicy sleep midway because I felt guilty. In the middle of that sentence, he pushed me to the wall and held my arm and screamed, "I told you to shut the F up." I've never seen him so angry, disgusted, and for a moment I thought he would hit me, but he never did. I tried to hug him, but he refused to touch me and told me I am used and broken to him now, and that he wants nothing to do with me. This completely broke me inside. I asked what this meant, and he said we will be getting a divorce.
What did she expect from him after what happened? He probably gave his all to that relationship, and that's why he felt betrayed by this event. This is something that probably never crossed his mind. You need therapy. There were no signs of him cheating. You cheated and lost him. This guy gave his all to his wife. He was devastated. I know because it happened to me. She self-sabotaged 100%. Therapy is needed. Your marriage may be over, to be honest. Give him space. Perfect example of how people sabotage a good relationship or ruin good people due to their own insecurity. A man that won't fight or argue is completely done. She knew he was a good person since they met. So what was the point of jumping into that adventure knowing that it could ruin their relationship? Now she is the one who lost a great man who was doing his best for his family. I have seen comments stating that she did it due to her insecurities. They also believe that he was too quick to let it go and he didn't fight for their relationship, but I don't know what else they expected from him. In my opinion, those comments made no sense. First, he didn't give her any reason to be insecure. She checked his messages and noticed that he was fully dedicated to their marriage and was turning other women down as he wanted to protect their relationship. That alone should be enough to remove any possible doubt she had, but it wasn't the case. Also, being insecure is not an excuse to jump into that adventure with an ex, so I don't understand where they were coming from.
A woman does this, walk away and never look back, and I see so many guys making this mistake. If she leaves you for another man and you don't cut her off completely, three things are gonna happen. First, you are throwing your self-respect out the window because you're basically admitting that you were fine being second choice to her first option when things don't work out with him. Second, if it happened once, it will happen again. Third, if you are busy wasting your time on a woman who clearly doesn't respect or deserve you, you might very well be letting your actual ideal partner pass you right on by.
I'm good. I walk away if she doesn't give me an answer or try play games with me. To be honest, I didn't care much. She was my second choice too, so we're cool. I'm in that situation right now. Please help. My ex got blocked and I would never coming back. Indeed, it will happen again, out of experience. I'll never be a second choice again.
If she leaves you for another man and you don't cut her off completely, three things are gonna happen. First, you are throwing your self-respect out the window because you're basically admitting that you were fine being second choice to her first option when things don't work out with him.
That is absolutely true. She wouldn't come back if things worked out with their first option, so by accepting it, you would indirectly agree that you are okay being their backup plan, and this is not a good position if you want to have a fulfilling relationship. You need to be with someone who views you as their first and best option. This is when you will have the best experience. Also, there is a possibility they might leave again if their first option comes around, so what's the point of entertaining it?
Second, if it happened once, it will happen again.
That is also another possibility. Even though people change and learn from their mistakes, we shouldn't ignore the fact that those who have done it once are more likely to do it again. So it's up to you if you want to engage in this type of relationship.
Third, if you are busy wasting your time on a woman who clearly doesn't respect or deserve you, you might very well be letting your actual ideal partner pass you right on by.
That is the most important part of this video. And I know a lot of guys have placed themselves in this position where they are trying to make things work with the wrong person. They should understand that while they are doing their best to try to get that person to engage in the relationship they don't want, they are at the same time missing the opportunity to meet the person who actually loves them and will be happy to have them in their lives. So don't waste your time. Use that energy to find the woman who is on the same page, someone who will be happy just by the opportunity to be by your side.
In the next video, we have a man who is battling himself. He no longer wants to be in that relationship, but doesn't know how to leave.
Look at this guy's facial expression. At that point, he was done. He didn't want anything to do with her anymore, but will probably stick around due to kids and other reasons. He is definitely fighting himself. One side is telling him to leave, and the other is showing him the reason why he should stay. That is not an easy position. I know some of you will find this scene familiar. That's the look of, I know I'm wasting my life, but I don't know how to leave. He's doing the math on what it will cost to leave. That's a man that is purely staying for his children. The fact that he's staying patient tells me he did something to deserve this lecture. My wife did this once. I haven't seen her since 1981. What every ounce restraint looks like. Most soldiers have an idea of possible thoughts that were going through his mind at that moment, and we also know that he would disappear from that place if he could do so. That is the facial expression of a man who was already calculating the cost of moving out. He was also calculating the things he would lose after leaving. She was unknowingly pressuring him to make decisions that would directly affect her future. Many guys are in relationships because they want to give their children the opportunity to have a two-parent household, and those are the ones who are more likely to have that type of reaction. They would prefer to go through those situations and stay. They are doing it for their kids. But at some point, it's also important to consider your mental state, as it wouldn't make sense if it is affecting you in other areas. As we can see, he can't take it anymore, but it seems like she doesn't understand it, and later, she will be the first to complain that she doesn't know why he decided to pack his things and leave. Many people have all the signs that indicate that their spouse is unhappy in their relationship, but most tend to ignore them, only to act surprised when things go wrong.
She will regret you for the rest of her life. And let me explain. When a woman loses a good man, a genuinely good man, that was loyal, understanding, there for her, was her backbone she felt safe with, she will never be able to forget him due to one fact. Those are not easy to find. And because you were a good man, she thought that it was easy to replace you because you made her think that all men were like that. Until she left you and she got surprised to figure out that you were a rare breed. And she will sit there regretting you for the rest of her life, especially when you don't accept to take her back.
Nah, she found my replacement 2 days later. No, she won't. That would require her to take accountability for her actions. This is true. My ex has been trying to win me back for a decade now. She came back after 6 months of silence, so I gave her that silence right back. I can feel it in my bones that she's regretting her choice. I am a good man, but I was not good to her. Took too much effort, and at the end, I gave up. That is true to some degree. Some people are difficult to replace, as they usually give the other party a level of experience that can't easily be found elsewhere, and that is why I partially agree with what she said, but we can't forget that sometimes a guy can be a good person who did everything on his power to make his partner happy. However, if she isn't fully healed, she won't be able to see the quality of man she had by her side. In those cases, she won't regret or try to come back as she doesn't know who he actually was. While they are still addicted to the drama only Chad can provide, they will have no issue leaving a good guy for those who only care about themselves. That is the reality of many good guys. A lot of them found themselves in a situation where their spouse left them, and before they knew it, they were already dating Chad a few weeks after their breakup. But in most cases, they end up regretting it. And it usually happens after the excitement they were looking for starts fading away, when Chad displays his true intentions. This is when they start realizing that they were better off with the good guy who wasn't good enough, and in some cases they come back trying to get him back, only to be told that it's too late, as he already moved on or lost interest.
Welcome to our self-development section. Today we will understand the reason why the wrong mindset and expectation are destroying many dreams. A lot of people are failing because they don't have a realistic idea of what it will take to achieve their goals.
This is the number one reason people go out of business.
They don't realize the hustle it takes, number one, 100 hours a week for maybe 10 years. They don't anticipate that. They want to have balance. They want to go to their kids' t-ball game. They want to go to every party. No, I had a decade of none of that. 100 hours a week, face down, grinding. And then you come up and have balance, but you're going to be out of balance for a while. And then they make $10 and they spend $9. Whereas I made $10, I spent $1 on low living and everything back into the business for years. So it's keeping that mindset of I'm going to grind and everything that comes in, I'm going to put back in. And if you'll do that for a period of time, you can do it well with almost anything.
He explained it clearly, and those who pay attention to his message probably got the point. The first point is the fact that we must be prepared to work for a considerate period without the expected reward. And this is what most struggle with. I know this generation has issues with this a lot, as most are addicted to instant gratification. We want everything now, and this is not how things work when it comes to big achievements. This is the reason most are more inclined to get a job than go after their dream, and they choose that path because the job will guarantee them a payment after 30 days. But we can't say the same things when it comes to our dreams and goals. The other point is the fact that we will have to lock in for some time and avoid all distractions, as it will delay our progress. As he said, it took him 10 years to be in a position to do and buy things he actually wanted. But it wouldn't be possible if he didn't have this level of discipline and mindset. So, make sure you know what you will have to do in order to achieve your goals. Be ready for some delayed gratification and avoid all types of distractions. This is all for today's video, and we hope you like it. Make sure you subscribe to our channel on your way out.